Great. So we are live. We are on Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. Everyone, thanks for joining. Last stream, we tried to deploy Welephant. That is the GitHub repository in front of us. We tried to deploy that to a remote URL using Vercel. We ran into an issue. We ran into several issues. Basically, the build broke, and we tried to fix that and ran into some other issues. And what we determined is that probably the easiest path forward would be to upgrade the version of Blitz that we are using. So that's what we're going to do today. This project was initialized in the Blitz alpha. Blitz is no longer in alpha. Yesterday I checked, they were in beta 0. And let's see if they have an even more recent beta, or if yesterday's release is the newest. You never know with these guys. The Blitz team is releasing all the time. Before we do that, quick shout out to my sponsors, which is me, sponsoring myself. Latterly.io will forward you to this Teachable site. There is a free option and a paid option. Use the free option. I hope you get a ton of value out of it. And if there's anything I can do to help you learn to code and land a job in tech in 4 to 12 months, book that consultation and we can get you on a one-on-one personalized mentorship program. In addition to Latterly, another way you can support the channel is the Coding Life store. This is codinglife-store.myshopify.com. Totally a mouthful. And I designed all this merch myself. In the lower left, this crazy looking shirt, I designed it using AI, so that's totally fun. Totally fun. Quick announcement pretty soon here. I'm going to have a new camera. So this is the last week. This is the last week I will be streaming off of this camera. We're getting a new Sony mirrorless. Cool, and then here's how you can connect with me on socials. So vandeveer.github.io/not John's Linktree. There's another way to get here if that is like too much to remember. You can just go to my GitHub page. Just go here to my GitHub page, and then it says check out my socials, and you can click that. By the way, this thing you see right here, vandeveer/readme, this is called a GitHub special profile. I think that's right. Let's double check. GitHub special profile. Special readme, maybe. GitHub profile readme. Okay, we took the long way. We took the long route. So this is a GitHub profile readme, and this is a great touch for your portfolio to make your GitHub look awesome. Pro tip. You can look up how to do a profile readme. So anyway, click my socials here, and you'll be taken to this page where you can see all the different channels. If you're currently on TikTok, you're going to be able to see the whole screen if you go over here to YouTube or Twitch and subscribe over there. And then you may have already noticed if you're on YouTube, but I have a second ring light today, and I think it really helps personally. Okay, I think that gets all the sort of announcements out of the way. So let's dive in. Oh, let's first check Blitz if they have a newer version, and we'll upgrade to whatever's the latest version. So here's the Blitz repository. As a reminder, Blitz is a framework on top of Next.js, which is a framework on top of React. So it's basically a super high order, batteries included, React framework, full stack framework, not a UI framework. It's a full stack framework, and it includes a database connection through Prisma and first-class TypeScript support. First-class authentication, they'll take care of authentication for you. And it's a good thing we checked, because check this out. There is a beta.2 available from 12 hours ago. So man, you cannot keep up with this Blitz team dropping improvements all the time. Let's see the changelog real quick. We thought we were cool because 24 hours ago, I was looking at the beta 0. Little did I know that this would come out less than a day later. So basically, it looks like some version bumps, dependency version bumps, which is a minor kind of safe thing to do, but it's also a helpful thing to do. Because if you recall, part of our fix was going to React 18.2. So this possibly could make things even smoother for us. Patch Next.js suspense issue. in all node environments. Look at that. This is actually like this is actually like phenomenal timing because the suspense issue is exactly what we were running into. Omar, there's our friend Omar. Thanks for being here. And Omar, Jet, you mentioned, oh, Sergey is on YouTube. Sergey, I was wondering to add a programming language or framework to my skills. What is the standard to add it? Take a LinkedIn skill assessment. The standard, there is no single standard, right? So what you're gonna wanna do is you're going to want to get a credential that a large percentage of employers will recognize. So you can do research, you can, like for an Amazon Solutions Architect certified credential, you can Google that and try and figure out, are employers aware of this? Hint, for Certified Solutions Architect, the answer is yes, employers are aware of this. How do we know that employers are aware of a particular credential? One of the best ways to do this is just to look at volume. So I recommend Codecademy Pro because the Codecademy brand is so well used. Coding bootcamps, so I'll show you that momentarily. Coding bootcamps also, right? In a paper, so I have an academic paper on this where I demonstrated that employers have substantial name recognition for highly rated coding bootcamps. And the prestige rule, as I define it, is a rating of 4.25 or higher with 400 or more reviews on coursereport.com, which is the site in front of us. So based on that heuristic, which by the way, we need to give more credit to our researchers that put in time and effort into developing these rules because it's not obvious. It's not obvious why 4.25, why not 4.2 or 4.1 or 4.6. So you have to do some real actual research in there. Anyway, from that heuristic, we could deduce that Lewagen is a prestigious coding bootcamp. And they're not US based, but if you go to Mexico City, employers know about Lewagen. Now, what about US? Springboard is known. Career Foundry is one of the ones that I highly recommend at the moment. This fluctuates over time, but at the moment, Career Foundry is one of the only ones that guarantees a job. Okay? So you get a double win here. Not only are they prestigious, employer name recognition, they actually have a job guarantee. So I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to hypothesize that Sergey has asked about putting a programming skill on his resume because he's interested in getting a job. Well, I'll do you one better than a resume improvement. Here's a job guarantee. Okay. So getting a brand name that employers recognize and certifying your skill through that brand name. And so what are some brand names that employers recognize for skills? One of the biggest ones is the LinkedIn Skill Assessment. It's a great question. Thanks for asking that. They include RPC. Yeah, they do. Hey, Omar, wanted to mention that I told Lambda School kinda does that. Yeah, keyword kinda. Once upon a time, Lambda School was highly reputed. Let's double check because later they fell greatly out of favor. But maybe they've bounced back, I'm not sure. And then we'll get out of coding bootcamp mode. So we want to sort by most reviewed, not best reviewed, because if we sort by best reviewed, we will get 5.0 stars and like 3 reviews, which is not a prestigious school. Actually, we can just directly look for Lambda School. Lambda, no existing match. So Lambda School might have been removed from Course Report. Lambda School. Thanks for your answer. Very, very welcome, Sergey. Thank you for the question. Bloom Institute of Technology. Oh yeah, right. So they had all this. They had all of this controversy. So they ended up changing their name. Talk about a non-prestigious brand. If you have to rebrand, it's a sign that you don't have a prestigious brand. Okay, so 4.25 or better, they barely make the cut, but they do make the cut. Minimum 400 reviews, they don't make the cut. So Lambda School would not be considered a prestigious school. I think once upon a time they were, but they had a bunch of issues. You can go read various news articles, just Google Lambda School, and you'll be able to read all about it there on the news tab. So stay away from them. Stay away from them. App Academy, Code Foundry, Springboard. These are the better ones. By the way, this sort of thing is one of many services that I offer. If you book a call with me, we can find a personalized match for you. I've given rules of thumb, general ways to find a quality bootcamp, but depending on your personal profile, other schools might be a better fit. For example, some schools will give you free tuition if you are, one, either a woman, or two, former military. So those would be reasons that, hey, you know, like App Academy might be in general a best choice, but if you can drop your your rating from like 4.5 to 4.4, but you can save like 20 grand, that would be a reason to skip one of the top rated and pick the second best in terms of the rating, because in terms of the return on investment, it's far, far better, right? Should I learn Python or something else? I'm finding dictionaries and functions difficult. Functions are not difficult. If you're finding functions difficult, you might want to change the learning material that you're using. Dictionaries really shouldn't be too difficult either, but I would say that in JavaScript, the implementation of objects is more straightforward than the implementation of dictionaries in Python, because in Python, you get confused, what's an object, what's a dictionary. It's like the concern has been split. And then furthermore, there's also typed dictionaries, ordered dictionaries, and plain dictionaries. Once you learn them all, it's actually extremely useful that those nuanced differences exist. But as you're learning, it's kind of a pain in the ass. In JavaScript, you just have objects, and they do all the things, which as a learner makes initially getting in easier. But later on, you find out, like, actually, we kind of want the nuanced differences. Anyway, I'm 1,000% in favor of you not learning Python, and I totally support you learning React. Learn React, not Python, is a slogan I'm actually pretty famous for on TikTok. So you should learn React and book a call with me if you want a more detailed breakdown about why. Any web development bootcamp for women which waives off the tuition? Yeah, so don't quote me that they're still doing this, but once upon a time they did this. Let's see if I can remember what it's called. Here's She Codes. I think they have, I'm actually not super familiar with She Codes, but this is one of those like gender preferential boot camps. Super highly rated, look at that, almost 5.0, 4.97. And the cost is really low. So $99, look at that. This is not the one I was thinking of though, but it looks pretty good. Coding Dojo, General Assembly, not Flatiron Design Lab, Codesmith. It might be easier to Google like a Coding Bootcamp Female Scholarship. We'll do that momentarily if I can't find it. So let's Google this, because I'm not seeing it. Maybe I scrolled past it and my memory just didn't get jogged. Coding Bootcamp Female Scholarship. Maybe it is Flatiron. Yeah, maybe I was thinking of Flatiron. And then here's General Assembly has a scholarship as well. Or maybe I was thinking of Codesmith. Okay, so let's look into these three. They're kind of halfway jogging my memory. So one is Codesmith, in partnership with Women Who Code. Great organization. But this looks like $1,000 scholarship. I don't think that is enough to make it free. 2,000 off tuition here, 50% off tuition here, 5,000 towards tuition. Full tuition scholarship. Okay, I think it might have been Flatiron that I was thinking of. Oh, and Grace Hopper. Yeah, maybe once upon a time, the Grace Hopper program was full ride and now it's been reduced. Maybe that's what happened. So Flatiron, I think, is the way. So I would point you to Flatiron, which I do, we can double check, but I do believe this is a prestigious school. I really want to get out of like boot camp research mode though. That's not the point of today's podcast. Yeah, I almost worked at Flatiron. So they gave me a job offer, quite a good one. But I chose my current company over Flatiron. But they were in my top 3 choices. 4.53, very highly rated, and you know, over 400 reviews. So, and then they have the full ride tuition. That I don't know. Please check it out. Like maybe terms are so maybe it's like limited, certain number of people. I'm not saying just anyone can get it, but for some people they're giving full rides, which is fantastic. What is a good offer? Let's say, I think over 200 grand is a pretty good offer. Although I'm making a lot better than that now, but at the time, it was a really good offer. Okay. These are all the type errors we're going to get away from. So we're closing this. Here are the issues we're currently working on. Remote URL number 3. He said, whoa, yeah, it is. How long does it take to learn that? I'm not sure what that is that you're referring to learn it. Oh, maybe you mean React and JavaScript? 4 to 12 months. You can learn enough to land a job. Don't go for mastery. One of the good offer here is $400 a month, says Sergey. I believe it. I believe it. The world is an amazing and strange place, isn't it? The level of inequality we have is mind-numbing. And frankly, Sergey, I blame a lot of that on immigration policy. If people were more easily able to change countries and change citizenship, then more people could leave low-pay areas, come to high-pay areas, and the inequality would be reduced. So I'm definitely I'm personally in favor of totally open borders. Totally open borders. Is React good for data science? No, it's awful for data science. To be clear, I don't recommend most people switch into data science. I strongly encourage people to only go for data science if you have an interest in it and an interest in statistical analysis and some sophistication in statistical analysis. There are few things that are scarier than a data scientist that doesn't understand the fundamentals of statistics. You'll make all sorts of interpretive errors. You'll give bad advice. You'll lead people into ruin and make bad predictions. I'm 30 and work maintenance, making $85K per year. Should I learn to code? What type? Yes, you could. It's less obvious whether you should. I'm going to need more information than that, so please book a call with me. I love stats, but I'm not a scientist. Master's in public administration. I have a master in public policy, not a very different master. You don't need to be a scientist. So you just need to understand how stats works. So I would say at this point, book a call with me, and we can go over your options. I don't want to make the whole stream about one person. But I will say that if you have some familiarity with the fundamentals and if you truly enjoy it, then yeah, maybe for you, Python and data science is the right route. What are your thoughts on the Meta front-end bootcamp? It's not awesome. It's not awesome. It's not bad. It's just not awesome. So I traditionally support Codecademy Pro front-end path, as well as if you need a free option, then free Codecamp. And I don't see sufficient evidence to change that advice. I would say it does seem to be on par with that. So the Meta front-end curriculum seems to be just as good and possibly better, but I see no evidence that it's statistically significantly better. What are some good books that you like? I hate books. I don't like reading books. I did a PhD. I've read enough until I die. Go learn with some courses on our YouTube video courses. Okay, let's actually do some code, y'all. By the way, reminder, if you go over to YouTube or Twitch, you'll be able to see the full screen. So we've decided that we would like to upgrade to the Blitz beta version 2.002. There's a second one now. And I guess I don't have a Blitz tab open anymore. Oh yeah, I do, it's over here. Okay, let's move this stuff over here, just kind of orient myself. Yeah, so this is the one. And so how do we do this upgrade? The first thing is that we uninstall the Blitz command line tool. Let's first of all make sure that our packages are even with master. So here, this chore would be install just DOM testing library. I'll just say chore testing devs. I'm actually going to do this on the command line so I can pass the no verify flag. That will allow me to skip my Husky hooks, which are currently failing. And I'll also push, once again, no verify. So it's telling us, hey, this is an unpublished feature branch. See the prior streams where we talk about feature branching. Basically, 3 support remote URL is issue number 3. So here is issue number 3, which is about supporting a remote URL, and that's what makes it a feature branch. We have code specifically for this GitHub issue. Failed to push some refs. Let's see. I need to do the no verify flag. When I published the branch, I didn't patch the no verify flag. Cool. Cannot find name CTX. Let's go see. See, I don't even want to investigate fixing these things. I should just upgrade the version of Blitz. So we will yarn global remove Blitz. Now we will yarn global add Blitz. And we need to specify the version because it is a maybe it's the latest version. Let's see. We might need to uninstall it. I'm not sure if the beta is on the main branch. It's on their main GitHub branch, but I don't know if that means it's the npm main release. So we might just end up uninstalling it. Okay, installed Blitz. So this is the beta 2. So it's their main GitHub branch, and furthermore, it is their main npm release. So we don't need to specify the version. We can just install it, which is convenient. So now I kind of need to wipe all this stuff out, which is a little bit of a pain, isn't it? Let's see if I can upgrade. If Blitz gives us a way to upgrade. Yeah, I seem to recall it just reinstalling is the way to do this. This is from 2020. It might be the same thing. Yeah, probably the simplest way is install the latest Blitz and Blitz new app. Then it'll say there are file conflicts and you'll be able to see the diff on each file. Okay, so we can give that a try. And let's confirm if this, so this is like multiple year old advice, but we'll be able to confirm if it's still accurate. I feel like I commented on this thread. Yeah. Is this, so in 2021, it said, is this still up to date? And that's December 2021. So almost 2022. And he told me it's still up to date. Do you spend a lot of time doing workarounds while coding? Yes, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. That's one of those things that a lot of courses don't teach you about, but the real world, like what we're doing today is a version update, essentially, a migration. And this is like a perfect example of something that a professional developer is going to deal with all the time. It's extremely painful, and it actually, sometimes they're trivial and sometimes they're extremely painful and complicated. And it actually takes like a great deal of sophistication to know like which bucket you're in, as well as domain specific knowledge and context about the particular application you're building. So for your personal projects, this is like rarely going to be a problem, but like in the professional world, this is like a very common, very expensive problem. So you'll get a peek into the real world with your boy, John. Like the buttons and smash the subscribes. Almost 200 likes. I know we can hit 200 likes. Let's hit it. Let's just hit it. Let's just get it over with, yeah? Okay, so this package name is Welephant. So we will blitz new Welephant. Yeah, this is not going to work. Okay, I'll CD up a level. This is like very likely not going to work because Blitz detects the GitHub project context, and it writes a child folder. So in the Welephant project context, the child folder is not called Welephant. So it would not end up overwriting. It would not end up overwriting as Brandon suggests. So he actually says, go to your projects folder, which for me would be the workspace folder, which is out of my project context from a GitHub perspective, from a Git perspective. And now I tried to do this with the alpha. It didn't work. Maybe they fixed it. It did work before the alpha. And that is when I lose the Git context, can I create the child folder? And during the alpha, the answer was no. But let's see if that is... Let's see if that is changed. I'm loving Blitz. We'll create a project this weekend. Awesome. Thanks, Omar. So we will Blitz new Welephant, but I'm actually expecting that it won't work. I'm going to pick full. I would typically pick full. This might just generate more file conflicts. So part of me wants to pick minimal to minimize the file conflicts. We can work through conflicts though. And then what did I previously choose? I think I took hook form, yeah? Yeah, so that's React hook form. And okay. Show changes. Let's see. We can overwrite, and then I'll use git to. Oh, it's taking me file by file. This is kind of crazy. I wish I could overwrite all of them, huh? Overwrite, overwrite, la 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 la, over. Whoa. What is CS50 through Harvard? Any good? I mean, take it if you want to. I guess like a lot of people think highly of it, so that in and of itself makes it cool. It's a great talking point during an interview. So one of the things when it comes to like your education, there's like a few different things. And one is actually learning to code and knowing how to build projects. That's super important. Keep up the videos, brother. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. In addition to actually learning, there's a second thing which is equally important, and that is having the people who talk to you, having them think you know what you're doing. Let me explain. You might be a brilliant programmer and a terrible communicator. During an interview, the person who is interviewing you is not going to come away with the impression that you're a great programmer. You see what I mean? You actually need both skills. You need the ability to code, and you need the ability to get other people to think that you code. You run into problems if you have only one or the other. There's definitely the problem where you're a great coder and a terrible communicator. That's like bad for a team. There's also the problem where you convince everyone to think that you're a great coder, but you're actually not. Like that is like the wolf in sheep's clothing problem. These are both terrible. You need to actually do both. CS50, I don't think is going to make you, it's not going to help you code. And we distinguish between like coding, which is like syntax oriented, and then higher order like DS&A abstract concepts. So the CS50 is going to help you more with the abstract concepts. When it comes to coding, that is actually an unnecessary blocker to you landing a coding job. You're blocking yourself by giving yourself more required scope than is actually required. It's not really required for that purpose. You're going to want to focus on concrete syntax, not abstract ideas, for your first coding job. Later, when you try to learn a second programming language, maybe before that, but basically that is when you're going to want to transition from concreta to abstracta. And this is like a common problem that I see in CS programs themselves. I think fumble this all the time. They focus on abstracta over concreta. You can't land a job with abstracta. You need to actually be able to code. There are exceptions to this where like if you interview at Google as an intern and they think you're a smart dude and like you understand high level concepts and you're like top of your class, they'll just hire you and trust that you can learn to code. That's a narrow group of elites that get to go into the programming world that way. Most people, you need to code. So if I take CS50, do it way later after learning. Basically, yeah. What I would say is if you take it, you're taking it not to help you learn to code, you're taking it more to help other people think you can code because it sounds impressive. You get to put the word Harvard on your resume, right? You get CS50, which is like traditional computer science. So it sounds really impressive at interview time. And you can glean a couple of concepts from that, but really it's a talking point early in your career. Later in your career, it's going to be actually useful, but also later in your career, you could go back and get, excuse me, you could go back and get a proper master's degree. Graduating from my boot camp in a month, congratulations. What's the job market look like for an entry Python developer? It's bullshit right now. The market is terrible right now. Do not be surprised when you need to apply hundreds of times. Don't be discouraged, don't even be surprised. You should come in totally expecting that. If you don't submit 200 applications, you haven't even really tried. That's the mindset you need to come in with. That being said, if it's a good boot camp, and if you submit a couple hundred applications, maybe two or three, you stand really, really, really good odds. So if you run into any trouble, let me know. I don't think you should have any trouble unless you fall victim to one of the classic problems, like you don't actually apply that much, or you're like super picky with your employers. Those are going to be the problems that you're facing. Located in Seattle, then that's actually a really good flag. Seattle is, it's not doing as bad as some places. Will the market get better? Yeah, sure. Eventually, it might be 6 months. It might be 36 months, but it'll get better somewhere in that time frame. It's called Code Fellows. Yeah, I'm not super familiar offhand. What's the future of Blitz? Do you see it improves your productivity? It does improve my productivity. The future of Blitz is that it is a high order utility framework that is not React specific. It is not Next specific, but it will continue to do things like enable authorization, Prisma integration, and CRUD page construction and service construction out of the box. Okay. Looks like we upgraded, y'all. Let's step through our, and then it wants to commit for us. Yeah, this is not good. It wants to commit for us. So I'm going to get log -1. I'm not a repository. I'm going to cd Welephant. I get log -2, so I can see the last 2 commits. Testing depths, that's what I committed. Brand new Blitz app is an auto commit. So I'm going to get reset -- soft. What does soft mean? Soft means don't actually edit any of my files. Hard is like edit my files. Soft is like don't edit my files. So I reset to my own commit before the Blitz auto commit. Basically, I'm canceling the auto commit, and I'm going to a state of code where I have the Blitz changes, but they are merely staged, because I'm going to look through them one by one and make sure that Blitz didn't screw anything up. What front-end framework are you using? The answer is kind of Next.js, but Next.js is also kind of a full-stack framework. So I'll go with Next.js for my answer. You could argue, though, that I'm not using a front-end framework at all. Or maybe CSS modules, if you want to consider that a front-end framework. You might just consider it a CSS framework, though. But then you could say, well, a CSS framework is a kind of front-end framework, so there you go. Any suggestions for projects to add to my portfolio? Absolutely. You should do a vanilla JavaScript blog, a React blog, a React portfolio site, and a capstone project. And then you should start interviewing. By the way, if you would like a portfolio site template, here's an open source template available on my GitHub. Check out my portfolio here. Use my portfolio as a template to make your own. Good question. Repeat that so I can write it down, please. By the way, today's stream is saved to YouTube. Whenever the stream is done, you'll be able to go back and review again. You can also always book a call with me through Latterly, in case I can help at all. What's up, John? It's been a while. So damn insane. Glad to see you here. So all that being said, I will repeat it one more time. That is here. Let's do it like this. Some text on the screen might help. 1, vanilla JS blog. This should be a single page with CRUD form. 2 is a React JS blog. This is a pet project concept. So this is the pet project concept within project-based learning. You're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing because you already understand the business side, the use case, the user side, the feature perspective of what you're building. Then you get the experience of translating that technically from one specification to another technical specification, holding the feature set constant. And this greatly facilitates your ability to learn. So this is called a pet project concept within project-based learning. The third thing you're going to want to do is create a React portfolio site. So here we are just repeating React skill. These are two fairly trivial projects. So you're just repeating your React skill. That's the point of doing this. We learned React because we took a feature set we already understood and we re-implemented it in React. Now we're getting good at React by just doing a different project that has different requirements, but using the same front-end like library stack. And then you want a capstone project that in React that also uses an HTTPS API. Like really solves the problem. This is like a unique or shows your something you're passionate about. Shows something. Okay. A unique capstone project. So for these three, it's actually kind of okay that you're basically copying what other people do. The goal of these three is not to be super unique. The goal of these three is for you to learn. This is where it's like, hey, I got the skills. Now I'm going to shine. I'm going to solve a real problem, whether it's my problem or my friend's problem. I'm going to do a real thing. One person I worked with out of New York, they just created a smoothie restaurant, like a smoothie store website. And it was a very simple website, but it was a real problem that they really solved for a real client. And I think they got paid for it, if I'm not mistaken. So the point here is not to be complicated. And that's another mistake that I see is people want to show off all their technical skills. So they try to cram all their technical skills into a project. And that's like dumb. Like we want to keep things simple, clean, efficient, as simple as possible that also solves a real problem. So it either solves a real problem, whether that's yours or someone else's, or it at least shows off something that's unique to you. It's unique to you, and this is like your passion. And this is going to be your differentiator, where it's like actually unique to you. And this is like a really important talking point in an interview. And I also think it's fairly, like I would say, moderately important to use an actual HTTPS API, because you can get away with this stuff and really not actually know that much about coding if you avoid HTTPS calls. So I push all my students to actually use a real API. NOC7C9, hello, how's it going over there on Twitch? Thank you so much for being here. It's going very well. Teaching people how to code and land a job in tech. Reminder, if you're on TikTok, you can see the whole screen if you go over to YouTube or Twitch. Can you deploy Blitz to Vercel? That's what we're trying to do today. Okay. So looking at this environment file, we can see I don't need this change. And this is why we didn't want to naively accept all of the things that the upgrade logic threw in there. In fact, it probably broke our database connection because it tried to wipe out the database URL, because Blitz out of the box doesn't need this parameter. So it's resetting us to kind of a fresh state, you might say. But I don't quite want a fresh state. I want to be in this strange hybrid state where I get all the cool new stuff, and then I also have the stuff that I already did not getting wiped out. SQLite out of the box. So what's going on here? I think that is just a staged environment file. We can leave it, that's fine. Git ignore, I I think the get ignore. Yeah, actually, we want to undo that because I want to keep my Vercel ignore. How many programming languages do you know? I don't know, like close to 6. So I know, and then what does it mean no? Because like I've used some of these professionally, but I haven't used some of them in years. You know, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, Java, Python, Visual Basic, TypeScript. Do you consider that its own language? Who knows? I think that pretty much gets at it, right? I don't think I missed any. So however many that was, and however many of those that you consider to be their own programming language, 5-ish. Oh, and Ruby. I forgot Ruby. Sorry about that. Although, yeah. Thank you for taking your time to explain it to me. You are very, very welcome. Thanks for all the likes. We're over a couple hundred likes. Vijay, thank you for the follow. If I have to touch that low of a level when on the job, I'd have to make a ticket and send in a PR. Cool. All right, back to coding. Next config. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Do I want that change? I have no idea, dude. Okay. These I do want, for sure. Some of them I might not want, but the majority of them I want. This is going to kill some. This is going to kill some things that I want, such as TS_Jest. I'm going to go ahead and let it kill them, and I will simply reinstall them because it might end up. Oh wow, TS_Jest is down here. I was going to suggest that it might end up bumping those versions if I reinstall them fresh. Ooh, types react. See, there's lots of enhancements there that I didn't necessarily grab. Next got bumped to 12. So all of these could be potential things that could be fixing the suspense bug that we saw earlier. I am liking Rust, but Carbon is pretty sweet. Dude, no, stick with Rust. Carbon is pretty sweet, you're right. I'm not gonna argue. But Rust is where it's at in terms of it's really awesome and it's also gaining widespread acceptance. Like it's something that's actually going to hang around, which really, in my book, puts it in another class. Lord Sherman, thank you for the follows. What don't you like about Ruby? Okay, we're not going to go on a whole Ruby rant, but I'll give you a few things. One is implicit returns. So if I just say if I don't use the return keyword and if I just declare a variable, it's automatically returned, okay? That's a total pain. 2 is duck typing. I can have 5 different types and Ruby will think that they're all the same type because it doesn't actually do true type checking. It just tests if properties or methods respond. So this duck typing paradigm is toxic within Ruby. Even Python's type system is better. And Python doesn't have a good type system. Like, if you have used Ruby, Python, and TypeScript, you will understand why TypeScript obliterates them. It literally obliterates them in type efficacy. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to go. I mean, the other thing is that the other thing is Rails dominates. There's like one framework in Ruby. It's called Rails, and Rails has its own problems, like magic strings, magic routes, all sorts of magic that even the IDEs don't understand. Like what you're writing, they don't actually understand. Rust has implicit returns too, though. Oh, he's calling us out. Yes, that's fair. So I prefer to write in something called Dino. Here. I don't want to get too off track, y'all, but let's go check out Dino. So Dino, I'm actually writing TypeScript code, but it is written in Rust. So I don't actually have to write the Rust. I get all my types, I get everything very explicit and declarative, but I get all the beautiful like performance and things like that out of Rust. And then if I do want to go dive a level deeper, I can deal with Rust instead of C++. So yes, Rust has some issues like implicit returns, but I think it's better than C++. And so that's the argument at that lower level. Okay. Why are you working, bro? Just do leak code and jump ship. Sean, that's a funny comment, my guy. I'm not. I'm coding because I actually enjoy it, and I like educating people and giving them the opportunity. It's not just about me. Yeah, when it comes to my own career progression, it is highly leak code influenced, let's say. Not to get my foot in the door, but after you get your foot in the door, how do you go from junior to senior and higher, principal, staff? It really is a leak code fight. Like after you know the front end and you know the back end, then it's just like grind leak code, like TLDR. Also, my mom asked for this application, so we're gonna build this application. She wants a Welephant party tool. Okay, back here. So we looked at the package. We're keeping that. This README, we're going to undo and discard the README changes because it was wiping out my description of what a Welephant party tool is. Yarn lock, like I could give a shit. We're gonna override it here shortly, so we'll keep that. Vercel, so let's hit the refresh. The Vercel should get wiped out. I guess it won't get wiped out until I unstage it, right? So I unstage Vercel changes, cool. Change password TS, what's up over here? It just sorted, or maybe unsorted. Yeah, it simply unsorted the import order. I'll let it be, but that doesn't actually matter, but we'll let it be. Ooh, here's a big one. Check this out. Instead of mocking Blitz, we mock Blitz off. That's one of those things that seems low key, but it could totally be a pain if I had to go find it myself. Reset password, oh, this is a big change. So instead of an async reset password function, we're gonna do a reset password resolver. Yeah, very, very happy to accept these changes. Yes, that's awesome, actually. What are staged changes? You don't have to edit code manually. A staged code is code that you are about to commit to. You're about to commit to. You're about to save it. Let's say I change like 10 files. I want to create commits out of those, and a commit is going to describe the changes in the files. If I edited 10 files, but I can break those edits into 2 smaller groups that are like kind of like related to each other, it's good to have multiple smaller commits so that if I'm trying to do the root cause analysis and debug where an issue came from, I look at one commit at a time. And that way I only have to look at a few changes instead of like hella changes, and you don't know where in all of those changes, where's the bug. You know it's only in one of these few files. Continued learning and risks will help set you apart to grow fast. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true. Cool, so we love this. The schema, I don't think we love the schema though. SQLite, I don't want SQLite. We're gonna roll back that line. Let's just do this as we go, eh? So we'll roll back this line. It's not gonna let me edit it because it's staged, so I'm gonna start by unstaging. Now that we are unstaged, I'm going to be able to actually edit the file content. You should teach security. I mean, security is just not my favorite topic. I think it's like pretty boring, to be honest. If someone wants to pay me, I'll teach it, but I'm not one of those people that like gets my kicks out of security. I don't do it for the fun. Cool, so we basically just like kind of manually resolve this. Cool. So where do we go next? Sign up TS. Whoa, they changed this. All kinds of changed this, huh? Okay. Keep. Normally that would be useful, but I don't need it because I have some actual migrations, so I don't need a keep. So the .keep file, all it does is it makes sure that your operating system doesn't delete an empty folder. Ian, thanks for joining. What's up? What's up? Hey, if you're liking the stream, tap that screen and give me some likes. Forgot password mailer. Specify the auth folder. Yep, that's going to be needed. Blitz page. I love it. Stronger types, baby. Let's get some stronger types. Okay, forgot password. Just stronger types once again. Here for it. You can see all it's doing in some of these files. All it's doing in some of these files is importing this Blitz page entity and then specifying the page type. But that's a useful improvement. Don't turn your nose up at that. So Damn Insane says, not security in general, basically how to use roles or permissions to ensure the person has the right access. That's a good point. I think we will be getting into a little bit of that. We will be getting into a little bit of that in later streams. So in this Welephant application, I'm going to be able to create a wish list for me. I can edit mine. You cannot edit mine. I cannot edit yours. You can't even see mine unless I'm assigned to get you a present. Then I can see yours, but you don't know that I can see yours. So those are like interesting and complicated permission scenarios. So we will get into those in subsequent streams, so stay tuned. JWT tokens, for example. Sure, yeah. I think Blitz out of the box is using database tokens, not JWTs, but the same concept applies. How do you protect your roles, right? Here's a reset password page. We love that. Sign up page. Just declaring the type. Okay. So at this point, all of the changes I'm happy with. So I'm going to git commit-m. You could call this a chore, but I'm going to call it a feature because it's pretty severe. In theory, a chore should not impact users. I don't know where that beep came from. I just heard like a beep. This will impact users, right? Because we got the the reset password page. And we also got a test environment file, even though we don't have a test environment, but you could still call it a feature. And yeah, maybe like these types are arguably features, even though they're not user-facing. I just think this is a substantial change, so I'm going to mark it as a feature rather than a chore. And this is going to be Blitz alpha to beta. And yeah, I'll do a no verify. Okay. No verify push. Now we're going to try and install the package. Install went smoothly. We love that. Now I'm going to try and run my tests. I do expect this to fail because, as we recall, the out-of-the-box test in the spec files are actually feature tests. They're functional tests. They're end-to-end tests. They truly contact the database. Cool. So these failed, but I expected that. And you can see DB reset, they're failing on database connection, which is actually expected because when we did the upgrade, it wiped my environment file. So I'm going to take this off screen because I need to restore my secrets basically. And they're lost. They're straight up lost. Okay, so we'll go over to Supabase, and I will get the. Hey, thank you for the follow, Alozo. Thank you for the follow. I will go get my my database URL again because I forgot what it was. Let's see. I always forget where this stupid thing is. Okay, is it right here? Yeah, there's the connection string. That's what I need. And y'all do not get to know my password. Sorry. So we'll go back off screen. $50 if you can hack me, by the way. So try to hack that database. Again, here's the database string. The only thing censored out is the password itself. If you are able to, let's say, I don't know, drop a table, I'll give you $50. Okay. We love that Supabase lets you reset the password and copy it to your clipboard while maintaining a mask. That's awesome. Awesome for streaming. Shout out to let me go shout them out. So many people on Twitter deserve your follow. If I can spell Twitter because I'm a freaking idiot. Challenge accepted. Oh no. We're about to get roasted, y'all. Okay. Some of the people you should follow on Twitter: James Quick, 100%. Theo, or Theo. I call him Theo. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that right. Follow him. Super smart guy, and he has some really great Twitter Spaces. Okay. He's also like a super famous Twitch streamer. I don't know why he's upside down right now, dude. I don't know. I don't know why he does what he does. Okay, so we should follow Theo. And we should follow Fly Bayer right here, Brandon. So this is the creator of Blitz.js. The guy is so awesome, okay? You can just go ahead and follow the Blitz.js account. We also want to follow Ant Wilson, co-founder of Supabase, and Copplestone, the other co-founder of Supabase, if I'm not mistaken. So these are some people that you definitely want to follow. Okay, they all deserve a shout out. Now, let's see if I can connect to a database. So what I'm going to do, Blitz Prisma DB push. Authentication failed. Shit. Did I go? Let me make sure I went into the right. Yeah, this is Welephant, right? Vanderveer/Welephant. I think sometimes there is a lag. Couple other things I might need to do here. Let me put it in that staging file, which I typically don't use. But Blitz created it, so maybe Blitz uses it. I don't know. Okay. Oh no, that's going to go, like, that's bad. Undo, undo, undo. So it looks like Blitz wants to commit the .env.test file. That's kind of weird. So why did my my DB push didn't work? I'm hoping it's just a lag. We'll try one more time. I will try the studio as well. Make sure I got my username right. Yeah, I did. Okay. Given that that didn't work, this is probably not going to work, but we'll try it. Oh, I wonder if I should update my Prisma. Maybe in a minute. Maybe once this starts working, we'll update Prisma separately. See if we can generate. This should be a local operation. Generated just fine. Okay. Blitz Prisma Studio. It might not work. I really think this is just a lag thing. Like on the Supabase side, it takes some time for that credentials to process. So it connected, right? This is connected to the remote DB. That's how we're seeing the things here. Okay, like, I kind of want to be like, this still works in Blitz 2. I feel like it's not necessary though. Let's try one more time. Since Studio connected, maybe we will get lucky and the DB push will work now. If this doesn't work, I'm actually going to suspect a permission issue, not a credential issue. And I'm going to think it's like a bad logging. Can't reach database server. But I know you did reach the database server because you just spun up the Studio. Blitz, Prisma, migrate dev. Let's try that. So this is guess and check, right? Looks good there. Yeah, so what is the issue? I kind of feel like I've run into this before. So here's the database settings. Maybe I grabbed a wrong connection string. Let's see. Oh, this is with connection pooling. I don't want connection pooling. I don't want connection pooling. So one thing I could do is I could just go delete the database and recreate it, and that would fix the current issue. But I don't want to do that because that's kind of like a cheat code. That's not something that you can usually do. So it's like, it's not good advice. It's not good advice for people if I do that. Pooling is standard. Yeah, I mean, yes, depending on what you mean. I've had issues though, writing as a Prisma admin to a pooled URL from local specifically. Yeah, I mean, this all looks good. Your password. I kind of don't believe the password reset. It's like not going through or something. Brian the Coder says, why? Why did I have pooling connection issues? I don't know. You can go Google it. It was a thing for a while. Maybe it's gone now. Prisma connecting to Supabase pooled URL. All right, let's Google it briefly. I don't know. None of these look like the same thing. Yeah, this is just like a rabbit trail. It's not productive. Okay. Pool means you have the ability to have multiple connections. Yep, that is what pooling means. Can't reach database. Let me just sanity check and make sure that the database is actually running. So here we can see like the Futurecaster Blitz is paused. Welephant is not paused, right? So it is running. We can also go over here to the, we can like do a query to confirm that it's running. SQL editor. And yeah, there's a default query for the schema name. Let's run that. And it worked. You see, so the database is there and it is running. Somehow the connection is failing. I'm getting a different error. Previously it was telling me, you know, bad credentials. And I have run into this 100%. When I ran into this previously, I was trying to Blitz Prisma migrate dev. Here, let's go to the Prisma docs. So I will just show you what I'm searching. First of all, we're going to search the error code literal along with the framework name Prisma. DB connection pool is cached connection for reuse, mainly used for performance. Okay. This is a January 2021, so that seems like out of date. Here's a Stack Overflow from March 2022. So these are arguably out of date, but let's take a look anyway. I was facing the same issue, but it was on my MySQL container. Basically, I was having a problem with my database URL and my env. Yeah, so they were just connecting to a load host. I mean, that's not what I'm doing. Let me delete my test env file in case for some reason it's trying to use, like Blitz is trying to use my test env file. Yeah, no, still got the same issue. Um, okay. So this is not the droids we're looking for, so we'll check something else. I mean, let's, maybe we do try the pooled one. What I actually just did, I actually switched it on and switched it back off. Okay, I'm glad that failed, because if that worked, then that would mean that the Supabase UI was out of alignment. Okay, so let's switch this on. Now that this is on, I'm still going to try to hit the non-pooled port. Fail, let's try one more time in case of a 10-second lag. Failed again, no problem. Now using the pooled port. SASL authentication fail. Yeah. So I'll show you this error. When I use the pooled port, I get this issue. So I cannot connect from local. Okay, so we will unpool. Yeah, I don't know. In theory, I want pooling on for prod, but I don't want it when I connect from local. Let's try Blitz Prisma DB reset. Okay, those did not work. Let's see if I can see. It's 1001, yep. Let's see if I can see the thing that I used to see. Prisma DB pool, no. So these are not useful. The error that I got previously. What port is your connection string? It's 5432. 5432. I might need to like just I might just need to create a new Supabase database at this point. I don't know what the deal is. Ooh, I might know what the deal is. Okay, I think I know what the deal is, y'all. No, I don't. I don't know what's going on. I'm just dumb. Sorry. Party app. Yeah, it's called Welephant. Check it out on GitHub. It's helps people randomly assign who should get presents for who and get access to their wish lists. Let's try this. Then I need P-SQL, which I don't have. Maybe I can npx P-SQL. That's really old. Okay, so searching for the string literal did not help. So let's search for, oh, let's read this and then let's search for the error string, not the string code. Netcat to host first. Make sure you can talk to it. Okay. Yeah, I don't have, let's see. Yeah, I don't have Netcat because I'm on Windows 10 right now. Steven, what's going on? Hey, so damn insane. I just tried curling it. Yeah, I don't have Telnet either, but I curled it. It didn't, it didn't work, but it connected and hung. Okay, maybe it's the double quotes I'm missing. There's no way it can be the double quotes, right? Let's just be safe. Maybe it's double quotes. Okay, good. It was not double quotes. Which version are you running? Version of what? Version of Prisma? Version 4. Okay, so that one is complaining about special characters in the password. That's not an issue for me in this case. I am going to try just resetting the password one more time because definitely I feel like that happened. Oh, did I do this again? Okay, y'all, one button says cancel, one button says reset password. and I think I just clicked cancel last time. So fuck. I think I just didn't ever really reset the password to what I thought it was. All right, cool. So we're gonna hang out. We're gonna hang out. Have a good night. Thanks, Steven. See you later. We're gonna hang out for 5 more seconds, and then I'm gonna try and push this DB. And it's gonna work because I never actually reset the fucking database. This is why his username is so damn insane, because he's actually done shit like this too. He or she, they. This is why I've gone insane. No, okay, I'm actually so glad that didn't work. Great. So why did the studio connect? Let me try Blitz Prisma Studio. Why does the studio appear to be working? Ah, something is cached, that's why. Okay. Wait, go back to error, please. Bam, here you go. You can screenshot that. I'm gonna go over here and look this up though. Okay, so this is not the right issue. So we're gonna do can't reach database server. Blitz. Let's see if Blitz does anything. Is it a firewall? Maybe. That would be strange though. I mean, it wouldn't be the strangest thing that ever happened, but I was able to push the database yesterday. So I don't know, it could be one of those like Windows, let's see. Could be like an overnight Windows update. Let's go see. I also did update Node.js. In the previous version of Node, I gave a firewall exception, but maybe I need a new firewall exception. MN Node.js. Node.js has a firewall exception, so it is not firewall. Good check though, good check. So I'm about 5 minutes from just clobbering my Supabase database and starting it from scratch. Which is really sad. I consider that a lose. I consider that a lose for Supabase that I have to do that. But also, I think the Prisma errors are really not very informative. Okay. When including large table, that's not the issue. While doing a large find mini query, that's not the issue. This would be a small find mini query. See what's up with Reddit. How can I become a hacker? Oh, I don't really know. Go for a white hat certification. That's probably what I'd recommend. Ethical hacking certification. Let's see if it's an HTTPS problem. Nope. So that didn't work. No service issues at Supabase. Yep. All right. So basically, I don't know. So we're gonna have to delete this Supabase database. All right. Let's delete it. Okay. Man, I wish I knew what the problem was. Delete project. Welephant to confirm. Danger zone. Right into the new project. This will be a free plan project. We will call it Not Welephant. Not Welephant. Let's just call it Not Well, so I don't have to worry about misspelling Welephant. Oh, well, we're definitely not going to use that password since it was on screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll copy this. Okay. Let me also make sure that my Prisma schema is still saying Postgres. DB schema. Yeah. Database URL. The schema looks good, and we did Blitz Prisma generate. It worked fine, and I have no lint errors in my schema file. Okay. I'll be back if you're on in a bit. We'll see. I'm hoping to leave in the next 30 minutes, but have a good one. Thank you very much for the rows. Cool, so we created a new database. It's really sad that we had to do that. I'm bummed. Totally bummed. Public-private keys, JWT secret. We don't want to go the API route. Not well. Not well. Let's go to settings, database. Scroll down to the bottom. Nope, not there yet. I think it still needs to initialize before the connection string is ready. Thank you for the follow, David. If dashboard hasn't connected within 2 minutes, you can open a support ticket. So it usually does connect quite fast. Boom, there it goes. So now we will go to the gear icon, database. So this is the database settings where we expect to see the connection string. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Pooling is on by default, fine, we'll leave it there. We want the Node.js connection string right here. And then I'm replacing your password with my actual password. Okay, and now I'm doing DB push. And it looks like we connected. All right, so this is what the success response looks like. Your database is now in sync with your Prisma schema. So let's look and see if that's true. By the way, if you're on TikTok, you can go to YouTube or Twitch and see the full screen. Link in my bio will get you over to YouTube or Twitch. So here we are going to the database button. And look, we can see all of it. So yeah, that's how easy it should be. I'll have to send this to Supabase, unfortunately. I don't know what the issue would have been. I was forced to delete the whole project, which is not something that should ever actually have to happen. I guess if I had like a real company, I would have emailed them and yeah, I would have gotten like on support with them instead of deleting the. Maybe there's like a failover scenario. I don't know if they have failover. Anyway, stuff's working now. Okay, so we'll go over here. I think I can undo these. We'll try one more time now that I've undone the in-file deletions. It still worked just fine. Boot camps. We talked about boot camps earlier in the stream, so wait until it's saved and rewatch it, or book a call with me through link in my bio, and I'm happy to talk to you about boot camps. Okay, so we pushed the database. Let's also try to run the app. So I will yarn dev. I'll be able to yarn dev and create my user. So let's go over to localhost. JS Bits. Oh, is JS Bits on the call? What's up? Y'all should totally go follow JS Bits, by the way. That's like one of the most underrated people on TikTok. Okay, so here's the app up and running. Thank you for the follow. We're going to sign up. John@ladderly.io. That's my public email. Feel free to email me there if you'd like. Let's see. We'll make a password. The password will be foobar12345. Okay, so sign up succeeded. It already logged us in. We can look on the Supabase side. We can come over here and click user. Okay, I guess we can't click user, but we can go over to the SQL editor and run a SQL query, new query. We'll select all, and look at this auto completion. You see that auto completion? That's awesome. From public.u, and we get the IntelliSense, and we're going to pick user. Okay. And there is, oh, JS Bits sent a rose. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And so you can see John@ladderly.io was created, and then there's the hashed pass. Cool, so login is working fine. You may not have noticed it if you haven't seen my other streams, but we already resolved the suspense bug. So the previous stream, we've already resolved the issue that blocked us in the previous stream. So in theory, we can go up to prod now. Let me just log out and log back in. So I logged out and I'm going to log back in. This is John@ladderly.io. Remember, we are foobar12345. Login succeeded. I'm going to log out again because we're going to push it to prod, and we're using the same database in prod as from local. So I'm going to log out here and I'm going to use those same credentials without having to go through sign up and log into prod. By the way, if you're enjoying the stream, smash the subs and click the likes and share with all your buddies and tell them they should learn to code too. Okay, how do we go to prod? Let's double check all our code is committed. Okay, this looks good. Got some server-side logging at the sign up there, that's fine. So we're gonna go visit GitHub because I already have a GitHub hook integrated to Vercel. See, we got failure, but that is off of the main branch. We're going to pull, we need to, hold on, before I do this, cancel that, undo. We need to make sure that our tests are passing. So I'm killing the server with Control-C. Do you have your public GitHub repo to share? I sure do. Here it is right here. This is Vanderveer Welephant. Same as in my TikTok username. That's my last name there. And then Welephant for white elephant. And you can read in the README about what is a white elephant gift exchange. Thank you for the question. Control-C is lagging. This is common on Windows. Don't worry about it. Just kill the terminal. Open a new terminal, same location. That's the Welephant directory. And I will yarn test. Cool, and we got some failures. This is expected. Now, maybe this, let's see, was it an env test or an env stage? It's env.test, right? So maybe this is used for my tests. Let's see. Control-click, it'll jump me over to that file. db reset. The issue here is that we're really trying to contact the database. Where's db? Here's db from db. Control-click, it takes us over here. Python referencing could never. If you're on TikTok, by the way, over a dozen people, you'll be able to see the full screen if you go over to YouTube or Twitch. Just check the link in my bio for that. Shout out to the people that are already on YouTube and Twitch. Thanks for being here. Caleb, thank you for the follow. Okay, so here, this is the correct database. I'm going to briefly try using my real credentials in this .env.test file. So I'm taking it off screen. However, this needs to fail. I don't want this to work, because if this works, what it suggests is I have to check in my connection string to get my test to pass on CI, which is absurd. Well, maybe that's not absurd. Okay, we'll see. We will see. There are other ways of doing this. I can use Vercel to inject the database URL into CI. Oh, it passed. That's kind of stupid. Okay. Okay. I need to undo this change, and then I'll show you what just happened. This is not a good look. Okay, so here's my env test file. Tests can mean different things. Some companies have an environment called the testing environment. So you can have like a dev, test, prod. These are environment files. That is not what .env.test is being used for. .env.test is being used for a test suite context, even on local. And my local is not overriding it. And you can see over here on the left, notice how the .env.test is a lighter text compared to .env.local. That's because .env.test is not being git ignored. This could just be an artifact of the upgrade. So when I upgraded, when I upgraded, I reverted the git ignore changes. And I did that because I wanted to preserve my line down here about .percel. But let's go see. This could be okay as long as .env.test is being git ignored. And so we need to double check the Blitz codegen template, the Blitz template, to see if they actually want the git ignore to include env test file. Oh, there's env.test.local. Which is not the same as env.test. I think that works as a compromise. So do I have this in here? I don't have this in here. What the hell just happened? Sorry. I hit some magic thing that I don't understand. So I don't have .env.test.local here either. I might adopt that. But this is also not the generated code. So one thing that I want to see is, let me just grab a snippet of code that should be generated. This would be like, yeah, this forgot password thing is totally fine as an example. And we're just going to search in this code base on GitHub in this repository. It's too much stuff. I couldn't find it. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll remove some of the characters here. Let's get rid of the ... Let's just keep Blitz off. How about that? That should be enough. And now we can see in the code, changelog, ignoring all of these. Generator templates, that's what I was looking for. So this is the generator template file. So when Blitz makes your app gets this. And that's different from what Blitz is actually made out of. Cool. So this is where I want to look at the app, and I want to look at this git ignore, actually. Here I see this. Yeah. So .env.test is not included here. .env.test is not included here. But this is okay, because I can make a .env.test.local, and that'll work. So I'll protect my local secrets. Then you might ask, well, what's the point of .env.test at all? If we're going to have .env.test.local, and we should see git is ignoring this one, right? So we have darker text, lighter, darker, so darker is ignored. The reason is the .env and the .env.test serve as example files. Basically, we're indicating to other developers that you may have different environment variables for testing compared to a non-testing environment or non-testing code run context. I actually don't like that. So it's actually very common that you'll have special environment variables in your test code. It's very common, and I don't like it. I borderline want to delete the file, but I'll leave it alone for now, just out of respect for the Blitz convention there. I'm going to take this off screen. I'm taking my, my local secret and I'm putting it in the env test local. Accessor says, do more about Miniconda. Oh, only if someone puts a gun to my head. Or if someone writes me a big check, that would be the other way. Okay. So I've put the secret in my env test local. Cool. That is good. I expect that to work. Okay. And now I can show you my code changes, and I don't think I'm exposing my secrets, right? So basically, we are going to keep, show us your fidelity tab. I mean, I'm not opposed. It's just like that's not relevant. Okay, so this will be a test env template. All right, let's run this test, yarn test. And if the env test local overrides the env test, we now have the example file being overridden by the proper value. Yeah. Cool, okay. So we will do chore env test suite, env for test suites, env template for test suite code run context, as opposed to a test infrastructure environment, which is a different thing. What do you think of Lua? Lua's all right. I don't know. I don't really use it. It's not commonly used, right? I guess RPG Maker uses Lua. So we'll go over here and I will try to git push and I will not pass the no verify flag. We'll see how that goes. I think some types are going to break here still. 6 errors and 3 files. So I'm going to go no verify. And it may or may not pass. It may or may not pass for cell build, but we will know how to fix it if needed. Okay, so we're closing these. What I need to do now is complete the pull request. So we're over here. Testing depths, yeah, so basically this is testing depths to find new nvars, Blitz and Blitz get out of alpha and into beta. Cool. So we'll create this pull request. Before I merge it, I need to go into Vercel and put my updated environment variables. So remember, we had to delete the environment. So I need to take this off screen and we're going to change the database URL value so that the end-to-end tests will pass while the code is running in Vercel. I wish Vercel would hide my environment variable values by default, kind of like Supabase does, just like mask them by default. That would be really nice if it did that. Okay, so we've got the new database URL value there. I'm redeploying an old, oh, I don't want to bring the whole window, just bring the, where can I go and learn this? Book a call with me, link in my bio. Or YouTube, check out React and Next and Blitz, and that's assuming you already know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Cool. So this is the old code base that we're trying to rebuild before all of our recent changes. It may or may not work, I don't care much, but it will be cool if it does work. Here, this failed, so in theory, I should be like really freaked out. I wonder if there's an easy way to do Vercel retry. So the failed build has already been removed. Here's this. Yeah, that's not convenient. Let's do Vercel GitHub action retry. Is React dying? No, it's not. Learning to program looks interesting. I definitely encourage you to do that. I definitely encourage you to learn to code. Vercel async retry. Oh, this is kind of cool. Who built this? Good for these people. It's not really what I want, but that's kind of cool. Lee Rob, really? Crazy. Small world. Sorry, TikTok froze your video. Where can I learn this stuff? Codecademy Pro. I'll show you. Here's Codecademy. Codecademy Pro front-end career path will teach you HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. It will also teach you Git and Redux. These are all really important things. In addition to that, you're going to want to go to YouTube and the official documentation to learn Next.js and Blitz.js. There is not, to my knowledge, a course anywhere that teaches you how to use Blitz.js. Maybe I should make one. I mean, probably. So give me some money so I can do that. The Odin project is mid. The Odin project is massively overrated. If you want something free, do Free Code Camp, not the Odin project. But also, Codecademy Career Path Pro is way, way, way better than Free Code Camp. But if you don't have any money, Free Code Camp. There's free resource online. Codecademy wanted you to spend money. You misspelled wanted, by the way. Yeah, just because there's free stuff doesn't mean that you should use it. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, free doesn't mean good. Free doesn't mean good. There's good and there's bad, whether free. There's good and there's bad when paid. So if you're broke and you can't afford it, Free Code Camp is the best free thing. But if you have a bit of money, this is well worth the investment. It's a higher quality curriculum. It's more up to date. It's more engaging, like the platform is more engaging. Many, many reasons to prefer this. Cool. That was a good tangent. I don't know. I don't know an easy way to just ask the Vercel bot to retry. So I don't know. I guess I could close the PR and reopen it. I'm just really blindly trying this. Let me go tweet Vercel and be like, hey, can we do this? Cool. So there's the tweet. Bro, is your keyboard made of drums? Absolutely. Love drumming. Oh, is Young Savage on the call? What's up? What's up? We got some cool people in the chat today. What other certificate can I stack to make my resume look better? LinkedIn skill assessments. Will this land me a junior position? Junior, no. Entry level, maybe. Junior is entry level, Thomas. Oh man. You can learn on Codecademy and you can go straight to junior. You can do that with free code camp too. It's just harder. Cool. So we're not going to be able to retry. Also, like, I'm not really worried about it. I'm just going to merge it. Let's confirm the merge. So like in a real world application, I would be more worried about that, but I'm not. So I don't think they're the same massive dev cesspool nowadays. Trust me, there's always been a cesspool. There's always been a cesspool, man. Your video is freezing tons tonight. Is that on TikTok or what? Hey, if you're on TikTok and you're seeing issues, feel free to go over to Twitch or YouTube, link in my bio. You'll be able to see the full screen. I don't know why that's happening. Maybe I do. It looks like my phone only has 3 bars. Is it like when I move the camera? Is it like freezing when I shake the camera, maybe? I don't know. Looks like my camera only has 3 bars, so that could be why. Okay, so the build failed again. It looks like it's type errors. Now, let's go back. Close this, go to the GitHub action, refresh, and the merged PR also failed. I think it's also type errors, right? Scroll down. This is fine. The Prisma client generated. Failed to compile, yep. Okay, what laptop you use? This is not a laptop. This is my desktop. For my laptop, my work laptop, it's a Mac Pro. Cool, so let's go fix the type issue. I'm gonna change my branch first, git branch. 3 support remote URL. We're still in that feature. So I'm going to git branch 3, but we're going to call this fix CI broken type. Git checkout 3-f tab, enter, git fetch origin master. Couldn't find, oh, it's main, sorry. Git reset hard origin main. Git push. And this is probably going to fail for the same reason. Yep, so 6 errors and 3 files. Let's go fix these bad boys. Labeled text field we can see. Let me grab this, Control C. Go to the build, Control F, Control V. You can see it's the same error. It's actually complaining about the same error. So this is a good error. This would be preventing me from releasing bad code into a production environment. So this is a good error. So don't let errors freak you out. 398 likes. I know we can do more than that. So Damn Insane is on YouTube. What's up? What's up? Good to see you over here. We can see the red underline. So we are getting some lint feedback. Object is possibly undefined. Oh, I think I complained about this in the Blitz repository. Array.isArray. So it will only get here in the true condition. So it cannot possibly be undefined. So what I can do here, array.isArray, in this case, it will be true. I can be a little bit safer like this, errors and errors.name. Do we know that name is a string? We do know that name is a string, so we now know that it is an array. Object is possibly undefined. Yeah, this field errors implementation, something is wrong with it. Okay, so we don't want to, we're overwriting a type to, like, we have some knowledge the compiler can't figure out. So we're going to tell the compiler, hey, it's okay. I know in JavaScript, if you get a true value here, this is guaranteed to be an array, so join is going to be fine. What are you working on right now exactly? A website or software? Both. It's a website and an application, a web application. It is software. It's technically called Welephant, open source right here, Vanderveer/Welephant. This is a full stack Blitz application, and you can read about what is Welephant in the README. At this point, I'd always go on leave. Oligawa has comment of the day. Oligawa has comment of the day. Thanks for being here. Cool, so we are going to any type that, yeah. I should be able to do better than any. Let's see, a labeled text field. I know oh, this would be an error object of some kind. This would be an error object of some kind. Yeah, I could file a Blitz issue on this, but I just don't feel like it. I feel like wrapping up the stream. So sorry, y'all. I've been streaming over 2 hours at this point. Completely lost what's going on, but very intrigued. When you started, did you have help or just do your own research? When I started coding, honestly, I just did my own research. Eventually, I got help. But really not until after I got my first job. I guess you could count like interview feedback as help. Like when I flopped my first several interviews and they said, well, this is what you could do better. So that kind of counts. But really I didn't get much help from other people until after I landed my first job. I will say I don't recommend that route for others. I wish that I had more help, and I encourage other people to get more help. I think you could land a job in half the time it took me. It took me about 12 months. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm kind of a pretty smart, pretty hardworking cookie. I think if I had good help, I could have done it in half that time. And I've helped other people do it in half that time. Just join. TypeScript, you got it. Help from colleagues. No, I did not have help from colleagues, I'm telling you. When I taught myself to code, I worked at a political consultancy. No one there programmed. We had a WordPress site. Some people knew a bit about how to use WordPress. We were going to pay a third party to completely rebuild a website. We were going to pay them over $10,000. I said, whoa, 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 before we go hire a third party, let me try to build a basic website. And I literally researched it on my own. There was not another developer at the company. Use memo the error. Use memo is not the error, thankfully. Okay. Like, I'll just put a to-do comment. School taught what a YouTube video will. School taught what a YouTube video will. Yep. We shouldn't any type this error. Yeah, some people can just find like the right YouTube video and teach themselves. It's a very small number of people that can do that though. Like definitely less than 10% of people, probably less than 5% of people can just Google around and YouTube around and like find the right material themselves, curate it themselves, and learn that way. Even with a structured course, a MOOC, a massively online course, success rates on those are in the like 10 to 15% range for a good MOOC. And self-structuring is harder than that. So it can be done, but it's not a good idea. It's not good for the average student. It's not good advice for the average student. Okay, so we fixed that type. Let's go find the next one. Looks like it was on the same line. So we'll run these. So we'll run these tests. I'm expecting the 6 errors to drop down to 4 errors. What is the hook running specifically? Let's see. I don't want to have to push to run the hook. So I'll go in my .husky file. Pre-push is running lint and test. I guess it's the lint command maybe. So it went down to 4 errors. Let's see if we can make that happen without trying to push. So who is detecting the type failures? It would make more sense if it was NPX, wouldn't it? I don't know. Could be either one of them. Ooh, wow. Maybe we're failing out on the TSC and we don't even get to the linter. Yeah. So we actually have 10 problems to fix. The good news is these are pretty small problems. Okay, so let's go over here. Cannot find name CTX. Import from Blitz. So this is like something that was missing. Oh no, this is missing in their generator. I'm gonna go ahead and sort TS sort. Okay, and then I think we're gonna do the same thing in a few places. Import from Blitz, Control-Shift-P, sort, cool. Cool. So now I expect the number of errors have decreased. Cool. So now we're down to 2 errors, and it's these input types. And it's a correct error. This is just some work that I didn't do previously. This is tech debt. So the wish list in the wish list item, let's go check the schema. So here's the wish list item. And we can see there are some required fields that are not auto-generated. So one is, so that's optional, optional. We can leave the optional stuff out. User ID purchaser is required. Okay, we actually need to do the wish list before the wish list item because it needs a wish list ID. So wish list needs a user ID wisher. That's the only thing that's really missing there. So this says ID. Yeah, I think that is the like logged in user ID. User ID wisher. Those are the same, right? The logged in user is the user ID wisher. Is it Next.js? Yes, it is. It's Blitz, which builds on top of Next.js. Great question. Thank you for being here. 463 likes. I know we can get over 500. Let's get over 500. Harry joined. Thanks for joining, Harry. Okay. So we have the ID. This is being set as the wish list ID. So we're going to want to make sure to separate those, parse the input any. I don't like that. I don't like input any. So this is the update wish list. This is a mutation, update wish list mutation. Where is this being used? On the edit page, I guess. Close the others, get some breathing room in here. Promises must be awaited. What's going on with this, huh? So router.push returns a promise. Is that the idea? Yeah, okay. I mean, I didn't know that either. Yeah, so we can just await that. That'll fix that. Another one bites the dust, eh? What we came here for, though, was the update wish list mutation. Wanted to see how it's being used. So it's being used right here. And it's getting past an input. And so what input is it getting past? It's getting past the wishlist.id. So this is not the logged in user ID. This is the wishlist ID. And that's a number, and that's a number. And then these are any values. Nope, we don't love that. Okay, and you can see the to-do uses odd schema. Yeah. So it's just not being done yet, but it's a to-do. The sun says, wee, potato peel. Thank you for the thumbs up. Oh, we're getting a bunch of likes. Over 80 people on TikTok. You're going to be able to see the whole screen if you go over to YouTube or Twitch. Link in my bio to get to YouTube or Twitch. Thank you for being here. What you're building, by the way, Welephant, a party tool. You see here? So this is an open source GitHub repository, Vanderveer/Welephant. And if you read the README, it will describe what is a white elephant gift exchange. It's basically you're exchanging gifts. And you don't know that I'm getting you a present, right? So how can I know what present you even want? That's what this tool helps you do. Cool. Now we're 787 likes. Now I want to get to 1,000. Y'all just up the ante. Thank you so much. Okay, so now what I want to do is distinguish between this is the wish list ID. Let's call it wish list ID. I'm not going to do that. We'll just call this ID. So here's ID. and then we're going to get context, which has the logged in user ID. Hello from TikTok to YouTube. Milau, did I say that right? Thank you so much for being here. So input is an any type. No, it should not be an any type. We can see the Zod object right here. So why do I not get the type? Let's call this like validated input. Now does the type flow through? Yeah. So input is being validated in place, but that doesn't allow the type to flow through from an IDE perspective. And so now you know that's a number. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Okay, so validated input. Let's do this maybe slightly differently. Okay, so here I can say let aggregate input, aggregated input. So there's the input that the user manually puts in, and then there's also, I'm going to inject the, I don't really need to make this intermediate object. I can just do it like this. Session is authorized. Let's check that first before we go about validating. So here we are going to have ID is input.id, name. What unit test framework does Blitz use? Jest. It uses Jest out of the box. Can you say internal pointer? Nunya asks TS. Yes, it is. Internal pointer. So we'll get the name is the input.name. And then I'm going to add this thing in my schema, which is the user ID wisher. This is another thing that I want, and this is going to come out of ctx dot, look at this. Oh, it predicted it, but then I screwed it up. ctx dot session dot user ID. And we have the type for that. It's either number or null. Let's see. It should not be null after this has been authorized. All right, well, whatever. I'll have to make sure that it's not null. Okay, so let's add this to our Zod object. So Zod will take care of making sure that it's not null. So we'll tell it that it's z.number, right? Because it's number or null, and then Zod is saying, no, it's a number. Otherwise, I'm going to throw an error. Brian sent a rose and fire. Thank you so much, Brian. Okay, so Zod is helping us out and doing the data validation on this aggregate object, this anonymous aggregate object. Expected 1 arguments, but got 2. Let's see. Object literal may only specify known properties and validated input does not exist. Right. Because it's supposed to be called input. Oh, maybe, okay. I think I need to do it like that, right? So what's the issue here? Data. It's going to take an args object, select include, looks like it's called data. So, okay. I don't know why it said input. It looks like it's called data. Where, comma, data. Yeah, I mean, it didn't complain about that, did it? Provide a data property. Thank you very much. Don't just copy the code. Try it yourself first. Going into my first year of college, any tips? Yeah, please still make a GitHub portfolio. That would be my main tip. Please still make a GitHub portfolio. What are you writing? I'm making a Welephant gift exchange tool. So you can create a wish list, your buddy can create a wish list, you all have a party. You randomly assign each other wish lists. No one knows who's getting them a gift, but you know what gifts the person wants that you're shopping for. This is open source, of course, it's on GitHub. 70 people on TikTok, thank you so much for being here. Please like, follow if you want to learn to code and land a job coding. And you can see the whole screen if you go over to YouTube or Twitch, link in my bio to get to YouTube or Twitch. Red Fox Warrior, thank you for the follow. Tara Brielle, thank you for the follow. Theo, thank you for the follow. Oh shoot, nice. This is great for my group at Christmas. Exactly, Diego, got it. So Diego, my mother asked me to build this app for our family Christmas. So that's exactly what it's for, yes. Thank you for being here, Diego. Okay, let's get back to the code. Huh? Any tips for a freshman in college learning C++? Yes, please still make a GitHub portfolio. Do not rely on the degree alone. Also, if you decide that you hate C++, do not let that make you hate all of programming. C++ is particularly difficult. Programming is not as hard as C++ makes it seem. Okay, so we should have one issue left. So we fixed the wish list, right? We still need to fix the wish list item. Blitz seems interesting. I highly recommend it. It's very good. Wishlist item, let's double check the schema. So here's the model for the wishlist item. All these things I need. User ID purchaser, user ID wisher, wishlist ID. 3 things I need. C++ bonkers coming from like one day of C#. It's so true. What problem are we solving? We are creating a tool for anonymous gift exchange. It's called a Welephant gift exchange. If I want to buy you presents and I want to buy a present that you actually like, but I don't want you to know that I'm shopping for you, how can I do that? The answer is that we create wish lists. Maybe a dozen of us attending the same party create wish lists and randomly assign who's buying the present for who else. What is Blitz.js? It is a full stack framework on top of Next.js, which is on top of React. So it's for web applications primarily. It allows you to build the full stack and generate lots of code similar to Rails or Laravel. Okay, so we are going to the update wishlist item. Here's the input that's broken. Properties we need to specify are these three. So we need to add these three. We'll make a validated input. We will eventually pass it to the data. Okay? Now everyone is happy, but what else do we need to do is make sure that the wish list item has the proper data on it. These are all three integers. In the Zod language, that is a number. Now let's take it and put it on here. Okay. Bro, how do I code? Personally, I just if statement everything. Yeah, I mean, if statements are what? 10% of coding is just if statements. Learn a higher language, sorry, I just broke my tongue. Learn a higher level language initially to teach the basics like OOP. You want to learn JavaScript first, then learn TypeScript, learn Java third. Learning Java out of the gate introduces extraneous boilerplate, extraneous concepts like OOP itself is an extraneous concept. You can start with just functions. All classes are is organized domain collections of functions. And types and compiler issues are going to make it harder if you start with Java. You need to connect the relationships in the data. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. Okay. So now we know we have these things, but really we don't. Really we don't. This will always fail. This will always fail maybe I don't care, right? So this is actually, I'll put it to do. UI form is not passing the Zod details. This check will currently always fail functional testing. Functional testing. So I put it to do, so we'll just come back and fix that. Can you repeat the order to learn Java? Yeah, what I would recommend, JavaScript, then TypeScript, then Java. And then Colin, why stop at Java? Lincoln, thank you for the follow. Control of your mind, thank you for the follow. Got over 100 people watching now. You can see the whole screen if you go to YouTube or Twitch. Link in my TikTok bio to get to YouTube and Twitch. Okay, so now we'll run npx. Yeah, so npx passed, right? But, so let's go ahead and commit. So this is git commit m fix npx passes. Oh, I didn't stage, so let me stage. Is this all for a post method? Yes, in that particular file, it is a post method, but you see I updated multiple files. So this is not just one post method, but you're right that the thing I most recently was looking at was a post method, yeah. Do programming jobs pay good? Absolutely, very well. So the commit worked. Now let's try to get push. I expect the push will fail. Yeah, no problem. So we just need to fix these 5 things, and then finally I will expect it to work. Most of these are going to be the same thing. We need to add some await statements, that's all. Yeah. So the next router returns a promise. It's not a big deal. Oh, is it the same line? No way. Those are 2 different lines for sure. Okay. Maybe I can go to my problems pane. No problems have been detected. Okay, well, it's not doing a very good job there, is it? Wish list items, yeah, here's the other. We're just adding a wait keyword to the router because router.push is returning a promise now. Yeah. So this should be yarn length. I think there might be 1 or 2 more that I still missed. Mr. Glitch says this network. What do you mean? What do you mean, Mr. Glitch? Okay, I only missed 1, right? So we'll go there. Mr. Tick and Mrs. Talk, yes. Oh, I see what you mean. Yep, agree. Agree. Okay, now I should be able to yarn lint and it should pass. What code are you typing? We are building a party tool. This is Vanderveer/Welephant. Please check it out and let me know your thoughts. Let's go ahead and run the application, right? So that passed. So let's yarn dev. I'll show you what it looks like here. Is it Node.js? Yes, it is. Ready on localhost 3000. So here you go. This is what it currently looks like. We can log in. I already previously did a sign up. We'll use john@latterly.io. Password foobar 12345. Credentials are invalid. Did I type it right? Let's see. Oh, I don't know. Forgot your password. Yeah, I did. Please reset my password. Let's see if it really emails me. I guess it should. It might take a bit, but in theory, it should really send me an email. What language are you using? TypeScript. Let's sign up with a different email. Bar food. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. All right, so we logged in. Did you write this? I wrote some of it, but I'm using a framework that I'm building on top of. What are your computer specs? I don't know. They're not fantastic. It's Windows 10. It was cool a few years ago. I don't feel like looking up the specs right now though. Okay, so we log out. That mostly seemed to work except for the password reset. What's a party app? Check this link out. Vanderveer/Welephant. Check it out, and you can read the README. And this will explain what is the party app. It's for creating wish lists and then getting presents for each other and assigning who gets who presents. Do you code for a living? Yeah, I sure do. I sure do. I work at a great company called Upstart, having a great time there. What's the difference? Turk on 248 Hertz asks. What's the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript? The difference is types. So, for example, you see the green text here. It says mutate function, prisma.batch payload. These are types. Here. Here you see validated input has an ID and which is a number. That is type information. A number is a type of information. You have like text, like the alphabet, which is not numbers. It's like type of information, and then numbers are a different type of information. This is important because you can like add numbers with math, like 2 + 2 is 4, but you cannot add letters in the same way. A + A does not equal B, right? So by having type awareness and strong type enforcement, you protect bugs in your code because you protect, the code is able to double check you against writing nonsensical things like A + A = B. The code can be like, no, you can't do that because like the letter type doesn't let you do that. It doesn't make sense. So that's why typing is important. Did you say Upstart the online lender? Yep, that's who I work for. I have stock in Upstart and refinanced my car loan through them. I hope you had a good experience. If there's anything I can pass on to the team, let me know. I also have some Upstart stock. Having to any everything sometimes gets annoying. Yeah, types are a bit more work. Do you any Cypress? Dude, I love Cypress. Cypress is my jam. We don't use Cypress on my team at work anymore, and that's sad because I enjoy working with Cypress. It's really great. Actually, Blitz should totally come with Cypress, right? Anyway. Okay, so we saved this to show why do we use types. I think my voice is dying. Okay, so now we want to stage and commit these. This is fix, lint and type fixes. I'm new to Cypress in my project. I need to work on it. I mean, if you want help, feel free to like book a call with me and I'm happy to help. Is this C#? No, it is TypeScript. Grand Lord, learn one at a time, but depends on what you're wanting to do. I 100% agree. Mr. Glitch, very good advice. +1 on Mr. Glitch. We're going to try to push without ignoring checks this time. Letting the Husky hooks work. Do not no verify. A real push. Way better interest rate. Was great and super easy. Wasn't that quick though. Interesting. Well, it seems positive overall, so I'm happy to hear that. Best language for building app in both iOS and Android. Ooh, getting spicy. Yeah, I do recommend React Native. I'm still all this time later, I am still on the React Native train. Oh, we almost have 200 people on TikTok now. Hey, by the way, y'all, if you go over to YouTube or Twitch, you'll be able to see the full screen. We have over 200 people now. That's fantastic. Why don't you click the like button, throw some likes on there. 200 people, I'm sure we can get to 2,000 likes, right? Where did you learn to code? Originally, I learned using Codecademy. Let me put it on the screen for you here. Codecademy.com. A lot of things have changed with Codecademy since I learned originally, but it's still one of my favorites. Specifically these days, I recommend the front-end engineer career path. What about Flatter? Ain't it good because I'm trying to use it? I think you mean flutter, like a bird will flutter its wings. Dee says, I can teach you React Native if you want. Awesome. I strongly encourage React Native over Flutter. That's my current opinion. The developer economics are much better for React Native at the moment. And it recycles the React learning path, and I encourage everyone in general to learn React. That's like my default recommendation. Hey, that's not C#. No, it's not. TypeScript. What is the difference between TS and TSX? TS is TypeScript. TSX is typed JSX. JSX is an HTML-like syntax it's basically React. It's the syntax that React uses. So right here, this is JSX. It looks like HTML, but it is in fact JavaScript code. That's basically what React does, is it lets you write JavaScript and JSX in the same file so that you can have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript all computed from a single JavaScript file. It's basically what React does. Is TSX for React only? The answer is no. TSX is for JSX only, but all of the major frameworks these days, Vue and Angular, I believe even Svelte, if I'm not mistaken, can all parse JSX in 2022. TSX is used for components. TS is used for declaring everything but components. That's a good way to think of it, yeah. It's a good way to split it up. Thank you for sharing the live. We are getting many, many follows rolling in. Let me shout a few people out. Brandon, thank you. J Cord, Ilsa Torres, user 3114, and Teeterberg, and Dee and Jesse. Thank you all for the follows. So I asked to get us over 2,000, and we're well over 2,000 already. Thank you all very much. Please follow if you're interested in learning to code. I do these lives often. I did a live just yesterday, another one today. Let's go check how the deployment is working. Oh, we need to create a pull request, don't we? Okay. Fix CI broken type had a recent push less than a minute ago. Let's compare. I'm going to create this feature-based pull request. This relates to, I'm actually going to close it. I'm going to say closing for poor description. Closing for poor change description. So I'm going to close that, and then I'm immediately going to create basically the same thing again, but I'm going to give it a better description this time. Okay, so let's create pull request, and this is going to say closes #3. This is going to fixes broken type and lint issues so that Vercel build can proceed. And look, when I create it and I use this closes 3, it references the issue, right? Let's give it 10 seconds and see if the Vercel GitHub action connects. In theory, Vercel should run a test build for me. Deployment has completed, it says. Wow. Wow. Yeah, so that was super fast. Oh, well, something goofy is happening here. Minified React error. Number 419. Well, here is some error that I don't know. I don't know about this. I don't think we have time to get into this today. Maybe in the next session we will try to debug this. But I think this is basically mission accomplished because we got this build working and we deployed to the remote URL. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. I'm not happy about this error, but I'm going to view that as a different concern for a different stream. Yeah, it looks like if we look here, we can see server responded with 400 to get current user. So that appears to be the issue. Do you use GraphQL? Sometimes I do. I'm not currently using it in this project though. We're using React Query, which I think is actually much simpler. Okay, so let's go to the pull requests. Here is the open one. We checked the development build. It was like kind of iffy. But now we're going to merge. When we originally clicked merge, there were 5 issues. Now we come here, we can see there are 4 issues because number 3 has been closed. You see, when I merged this pull request, which included a well-formed closes #3 comment. GitHub knows how to understand a well-formed description. And what that did when I merged it, GitHub automatically closed the issue appropriately. What's the entire stack of this project? Blitz.js. Blitzjs.com. Check out blitzjs.com. This thing's amazing. If you're interested in learning to code, please follow, like, share the video. We had over 200 people on TikTok. It went down to 120. Now it's back over 200. So I know that we have some fresh people on the channel that can smash like. We definitely get at least over 2,600 likes. Let's go. Help other people learn to code. Thank you for being here. Lexer says, I'm also a programmer, but I don't know how to use all these free resources of GitHub. Book a call with me. Let's talk through it. I tell people my primary interest is helping people learn to code and land a job coding. But my secondary interest is taking junior and intermediate and even senior developers and growing them, accelerating their career, growing them into higher quality, better paid engineers as well. So definitely please do book a call with me, even if you already know how to code. Cool. So now let's go to the Welephant main page. We see the green check mark. There's also a comment. What's this comment about? Ah, Vercel left a comment. Look at that. Successfully deployed. The Vercel GitHub action is just really great. Okay. So we see that the deployment was successful, the build was successful. Here's the deployment URL, welephant.vercel.app. You can go there right now if you'd like. So we see that it is working, but we also see a new, this is my opinion, a new and different issue and a concern for a different stream. And that is this minified React error 419. So I'm going to deal with this separately in a different stream, and I encourage you to follow, and you can watch how I debug and fix that issue. But we fixed the issue that I set out to fix today. Thank you for being here. And with that, we're going to wrap up the stream. Tamamu says, yay, new error. And that's exactly right. This is called incremental progress, which is a major move in debugging. Incremental progress is a major move in debugging. User 829 sent a rose. Thank you very much. Can you teach me how to edit? Sure, I could. Link in my bio, book a call with me through Laterally, or send me an email through my socials. Okay, that's going to wrap up the stream. Let me check YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, Twitch, thanks for being here. And I'll talk to you later. TikTok, hang on a minute longer. There's a bunch of y'all, so I have an additional message for y'all. But the stream is also